Shri Radha Gokuland ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Guruntai ki, Prabhupada ki. Please come forward. As far as you go. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Kashacharikharine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol, everybody. Louder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govind Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Gokul Nand Radha Gokul Nand Radhe Lakshman Hanuman Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jayo Goran Nitai Jayo Goran Nitai Jayo Goran Nitai Jayo Goran Nitai Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Shri Radha Gokuland ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Garantai ki, Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Please the Aarti, thank you for attending the Aarti, which is completed. We'll finish the Aarti with Narsingha prayers. So please, everybody sit down for that. Thank you. The lyrics for the Aarti are on the screen. So if you can please follow the Aarti with me, the lyrics are on the screen. Those who don't know who Lord Narasimha is on the picture there on the left hand side on the wall. Lord Narasimha was a half man, half lion avatar of Lord Vishnu who descended to protect his devotee Prahlad Maharaj. So let's do the Narasimha Aarti, which gives a protection to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Prahlada Lada Daine, Prahlada Daine, Hiranya Kashipur Vakshaha, Hiranya Vakshaha, Shilatanka Nakala, Shilatanka, Ito Narasimha, Parato Narasimha, Ito Narasimha, Yato Yato Yamitato Narasimha, Yato Yato Yamitato Narasimha, Baher Narasimha, Hridaye Narasimha, Baher Narasimha, Hridaye Narasimha, Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade, Narasimha Madim De Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhingam Keshavadirta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhingam Keshavadhirta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Shahare Jaya Narasimha Dev 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 Narasimha Dev Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Lord Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakt Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Gaunitai ki jai, Shri Sri Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Go Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much for attending the Aarti. So the prasadam will be served today in the Haveli. So on your way out, the entrance is from the car park. So please come and honor some prasadam before you go. Hare Krishna. You can have some bhajans going on. Yeah. So there'll be some bhajans going on here in the temple room. So you can remain if you want to listen to the bhajans. Thank you.
Krishna stories.
Krishna stories. Okay, Krishna stories. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so in a very short while we'll read from this wonderful book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full of descriptions of the Lord's pastimes on this earth. And this is a wonderful way to spend your time at the Hare Krishna temple. Because really, that's why this temple exists, so that we can hear about Krishna. And before we begin reading from this book, we're going to chant some prayers for 5 minutes or so. Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagujatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Resha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vikyana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Mathurojvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruthapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambhodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirdishta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Were you here last night? No? Okay. I thought I recognized you. All right, we're reading from chapter 6. Anybody knows the title of chapter 6? This book, Krishna? I know it's a tough question. I wouldn't know myself, except the book is open in front of me. So this chapter is called Putana Killed. How many of you have heard the story of Krishna and the witch Putana? Do you know the story about the witch Putana? Yeah? Who tried to kill Krishna? Okay. So we're going to read this story. While Nanda Maharaj was returning home, he considered Vasudeva's warning that there might be some disturbance in Gokula. Certainly the advice was friendly and not false. So Nanda thought, there is some truth in it. Therefore, out of fear, he began to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is quite natural for a devotee in danger to think of Krishna because he has no other shelter. When a child is in danger, he takes shelter of his mother or father. Similarly, a devotee is always under the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when he specifically sees some danger, he remembers the Lord very rapidly. After consulting with his demoniac ministers, Kamsa instructed a witch named Putana, who knew the black art of killing small children by ghastly sinful methods. So he instructed Putana to kill all kinds of children in the cities, villages, and pasturing grounds. Such witches can play their black art only where there is no chanting or hearing of the holy name of Krishna. It is said that wherever the chanting of the holy name of Krishna is done, even negligently, all bad elements, witches, ghosts, and dangerous calamities immediately disappear. And this is certainly true of the place where the chanting of the holy name of Krishna is done seriously, especially in Vrindavan, when the Supreme Lord was personally present. Therefore, the doubts of Nanda Maharaj were certainly based on affection for Krishna. Actually, there was no danger from the activities of Putana, despite her powers. Such witches are called Kechari, which means they can fly in the sky. Wow. Anybody knew that? Yeah. That the name for these kinds of witches is Kechari, which means that they can fly in the sky. Right? We've all heard stories and seen pictures of witches on broomsticks, especially during the Halloween season. Everybody gets excited around the Halloween season. I never really fully understand why, but it's some source of joy, pleasure, especially for the kids. So there actually are such witches who are able to fly like this. They're called Kechari. This black art of witchcraft is still practiced by some women in the remote northwestern side of India. They can transfer themselves from one place to another on the branch of an uprooted tree. Putana knew this witchcraft, and therefore she is described in the Bhagavatam as Kechari. Putana entered the country of Gokula, the residential quarter of Nanda Maharaj, without permission. Dressing herself just like a beautiful woman, she entered the house of Mother Yashoda. She appeared very beautiful, with raised hips nicely swollen breasts, earrings, and flowers in her hair. She looked especially beautiful on account of her thin waist. She was glancing at everyone with very attractive looks and smiling face, and all the residents of Vrindavan were captivated. The innocent cowherd woman thought that she was the goddess of fortune, appearing in Vrindavan with a lotus flower in her hand. It seemed to them that she had personally come to see Krishna, who is her husband, right? Meaning, the goddess of fortune is eternally wed to Krishna. So the residents of Vrindavan thought that this Putana was actually the goddess of fortune because she appeared to be so beautiful and pleasing. Because of her exquisite beauty, no one checked her movement, and therefore she freely entered the house of Nanda Maharaj. This is quite interesting, isn't it? We often see sometimes that beautiful people may be given different treatment. Somehow or other, if they are very beautiful or charming, then it almost arrests all others, and they may be able to pass quite easily through a crowd or be able to get to where they want to go or get what they want simply on the basis of external appearances. Putana, the killer of many, many children, found baby Krishna lying on a small bed, and she could at once perceive that the baby was hiding his unparalleled potencies, which resembled fire covered by ashes. Putana thought, "This child is so powerful that he can destroy the whole universe immediately." Putana's understanding is very significant. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is situated in everyone's heart. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that he gives one necessary intelligence, and he also causes one to forget. Putana was immediately aware that the child whom she was observing in the house of Nanda Maharaj was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So as a result of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, Putana could understand that Krishna was the Supreme Person. He was lying there as a small baby, but that does not mean he was less powerful. The materialistic theory that God worship is anthropomorphic is not correct. No living being can become God by undergoing meditation or austerities. God is always God. Krishna as a baby is as complete as he is as a full-fledged youth. The Mayavad theory holds that the living entity was formerly God, but has now become overwhelmed by the influence of Maya. Therefore the Mayavadis say that presently he is not God. But when the influence of Maya is taken away, he will again become God. This theory cannot be applied to the minute living entities. The living entities are minute parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are minute particles or sparks of the original fire. So these sparks can be covered by the influence of Maya, but the original fire, Krishna, cannot. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even from the beginning of his appearance in the house of Vasudeva and Devaki. Krishna showed the nature of a small baby and closed his eyes, as if to avoid the face of Putana. This closing of the eyes is interpreted and studied in different ways by the devotees. Some say that Krishna closed his eyes because he did not like to see the face of Putana, who had killed so many children and who had now come to kill him. Others say that Putana hesitated to take the baby on her lap because something extraordinary was being dictated to her from within, and that in order to give her assurance, Krishna closed his eyes so that she would not be frightened. And yet others interpret in this way: Krishna appeared in order to kill the demons and give protection to the devotees, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam. The first demon to be killed was a woman. According to Vedic rules, the killing of a woman, a brahmana, cows, or a child is strictly forbidden. Krishna was obliged to kill the demon Putana, and because the killing of a woman is forbidden according to Vedic Shastra, he could not help but close his eyes. Another interpretation is that Krishna closed his eyes because he simply took Putana to be his nurse. Putana came to Krishna just to offer her breast for the Lord to suck. Krishna is so merciful that even though he knew Putana was there to kill him, he took her as his nurse or mother. There are 7 kinds of mothers according to Vedic injunction. The real mother, the wife of a teacher or spiritual master, the wife of a king, the wife of a brahmana, the cow, the nurse, and Mother Earth. Because Putana came to take Krishna on her lap and offer her breast milk to be sucked by him, she was accepted by Krishna as one of his mothers. That is considered to be another reason he closed his eyes. He had to kill a nurse or mother. But his killing of his mother or nurse was no different from his love for his real mother or his foster mother Yashoda. We further understand from Vedic information that Putana was also treated as a mother and given the same facility as Yashoda. As Yashoda was given liberation from the material world, Putana was also given liberation. When the baby Krishna closed his eyes, Putana took him on her lap. She did not know that she was holding death personified. If a person mistakes a snake for a rope, he dies. Similarly, Putana had killed so many babies before meeting Krishna, and she mistook him to be like them. But now she was accepting the snake that would kill her immediately. So many reasons are offered here as to why the Lord closed his eyes upon being taken on the lap of Putana. And it's very instructive in this paragraph. Srila Prabhupada mentions that according to Vedic injunction, there are 7 mothers. It's good to remember this. What are the 7 mothers? Okay, we have the biological mother, the wife of the teacher or spiritual master, the wife of the king, the wife of a brahmana. The cow itself is mother. And then the nurse. Nurse is also considered mother. And the earth. The earth. Can any of you say back to me any of these 7 kinds of mothers that we just read? Do you remember? What are the 7 mothers? Give me one of the 7 mothers. Anybody remembers? No? Should I read them again? 7 kinds of mothers. You ready? Want to hear 7 kinds of mothers? Yeah? Okay. The biological mother. Yeah? Then, the wife of the teacher or guru. Then, the wife of the king. The wife of a brahmana. The cow herself. A nurse. And finally, the earth, Mother Earth, right, who is supplying so many necessary things in the form of food grains, herbs, minerals, jewels. Yeah. So these are 7 mothers. And mother should always be respected. If one fails to respect one's mother, then only misfortune comes. So Krishna didn't want to see the face of Putana because he accepted her like a mother. She had come to offer him her breast milk. When Putana was taking baby Krishna on her lap, both Yashoda and Rohini were present. But But because she was so beautifully dressed and showed motherly affection toward Krishna, they did not forbid her. They could not understand that she was a sword within a decorated case. Right? She looks, externally, she looks very good and beautiful and kind and gentle and coming to offer something to their darling Krishna, but her intention was something completely different. So, what's that expression? Don't always read a book by its... Anyone knows this? Right, yeah. Don't read a book by its cover, huh? So it may look great, but is it actually great? Yeah? Putana had smeared a very powerful poison on her breasts, and immediately after taking the baby on her lap, she pushed her breastly nipple within his mouth. She was hoping that as soon as he would suck her breast, he would die. But baby Krishna very quickly took the nipple in anger. He sucked the milk poison along with the life air of the demon. In other words, Krishna simultaneously sucked the milk from her breast and killed her by sucking out her life. Krishna is so merciful that because the demon Putana came to offer her breast milk to him, he fulfilled her desire and accepted her activity as motherly. But to stop her from further nefarious activities, he immediately killed her. And because the demon was killed by Krishna, she got liberation. Right? Imagine someone comes to kill Krishna, yeah, and he says, "Okay, try," and then after he kills the demon gets liberation. How kind is this God? Right? He didn't send her to, everlasting hell to be tormented by pitchforks and hot flames. Right? He gave her liberation from the conditions of birth, death, old age, and disease. Aren't we so lucky to have such a God in charge? As Krishna pressed her breast extremely hard and sucked out her very breath, Putana fell down on the ground, spread her arms and legs, and began to cry, "Oh child, leave me, leave me!" She was crying loudly and perspiring, and her whole body became wet. As she died screaming, there was a tremendous vibration on the earth and in the sky, on the upper and lower planets, and in all directions, and people thought that thunderbolts were falling. Thus the nightmare of the Putana witch was over, and she assumed her real feature as a great demon. She opened her fierce mouth and spread her arms and legs all over. She fell exactly as Vritrasura did when struck by the thunderbolt of Indra. The long hair on her head was scattered all over her body. Her fallen body extended up to 12 miles and smashed all the trees to pieces. And everyone was struck with wonder upon seeing this gigantic body. Her teeth appeared just like plows, and her nostrils appeared just like mountain caves. Her breasts appeared like small hills, and her hair was a vast reddish bush. Her eye sockets appeared like blind wells, and her 2 thighs appeared like 2 banks of a river. Her 2 hands appeared like 2 strongly constructed bridges, and her abdomen seemed like a dried-up lake. All the cowherd men and women became struck with awe and wonder upon seeing this. And the tumultuous sound of her falling shocked their brains and ears and made their hearts beat strongly. So as we're reading, if there's anything you hear that strikes you, that you feel you want to talk about or raise as an interesting point, feel free. And if you have any questions, we can also try to answer them. Anything so far? No? All good? All right. When the gopis saw little Krishna fearlessly playing on Putana's lap, they very quickly came and picked him up. Mother Yashoda, Rohini, and other elder gopis immediately performed the auspicious rituals by taking the tail of a cow and circumambulating his body. The child was completely washed with the urine of a cow, and the dust created by the hooves of the cows was thrown all over his body. This was all just to save little Krishna from further inauspicious accidents. This incident gives us a clear indication of how important the cow is to the family, society, and to living beings in general. The transcendental body of Krishna did not require any protection, but to instruct us on the importance of the cow, the Lord was smeared over with cow dung, washed with the urine of a cow, and sprinkled with the dust upraised by the walking of the cows. After this purificatory process, the gopis, headed by Mother Yashoda and Rohini, chanted the names of Vishnu to give Krishna's body full protection from all evil influences. They washed their hands and feet and sipped water 3 times, as is the custom before chanting mantra. Alright, washing hands, feet, and sipping water 3 times before chanting mantra. They chanted as follows: My dear Krishna, may the Lord who is known as Aja protect your legs. May Lord Maniman protect your knees. May Lord Yajna protect your thighs. May Lord Achyuta protect your upper waist. May Lord Hayagriva protect your abdomen. May Lord Keshava protect your heart. May Lord Isha protect your chest. May Lord Surya protect your neck. May Lord Vishnu protect your arms. May Lord Urukrama protect your face. And may Lord Ishvara protect your head. May Lord Chakradhara protect your front. May Lord Gadadhara protect your back. May Lord Madhusudana, who carries a bow in his hand, protect your right side. May Lord Ajana protect your left side. May Lord Urugaya, with his conch shell, protect you on all sides. May the personality of Godhead Upendra protect you from above. May Lord Tarksha protect you on the ground. May Lord Haladhara protect you from all sides. May the personality of Godhead known as Hrishikesha protect all your senses. May Lord Narayana protect your life airs. May the Lord of Shvetadvipa, Narayana, protect the core of your heart. Does anyone know the other name of the Lord of Shvetadvipa? He is one of the Prabhu. Right. So the Lord of Shvetadvip is also Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, who is also the Supersoul, the Paramatma, in everybody's heart. So the gopis say here, may the Lord of Shvetadvip, Narayana, protect the core of your heart. May Lord Yogeshwara protect your mind. May Lord Prishnigarbha protect your intelligence. And may the Supreme Personality of Godhead protect your soul. While you are playing, may Lord Govinda protect you from all sides. And when you are sleeping, may Lord Madhava protect you from all danger. When you are walking, may the Lord of Vaikuntha protect you from falling down. When you are sitting, may Lord Narayana give you all protection. And while you are eating, may the Lord of all sacrifices give you all protection. This is very auspicious to hear, right? And this is why we have come to the temple, to hear about Krishna. Many people think that they're coming to the temple to see God. Yes? But in reality, actually, it is God who is seeing us. Darshan means we come to be seen by God. Yeah, God has given us these eyes by which we're able to appreciate His Archavigraha form in the temple. But if Krishna takes away the power of eyesight, we have no ability to see His Archavigraha form. And if He takes away the sunlight, the moonlight, electricity or fire, what use are our eyes. We cannot even see our hand 5 centimeters in front of our face. So in every way, we're dependent upon Krishna in order to move and to interact with our environment. Darshan means to be seen by the Lord. But the best way to be seen and to see the Lord in our present conditioned state, while we have this material form, the best way is to begin to hear about Him. Yeah? And then, by this hearing about Krishna, we are given Shastra Chakshusa, which means the eyes of Scripture. The eyes of Scripture. We see Krishna through the eyes of Scripture. The Veda. The essence of the Veda is Bhagavad Gita. And the cream of all Vedic literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Krishna book is the essence, the cream of that Srimad Bhagavatam. So by hearing these narrations about Krishna, we can begin to hope to see the Lord. Krishna says, Atashi Krishna namari nabhavid graham indriyai sevam mukhi jivada svayam eva spuratyara. This material body, with these material senses, cannot appreciate God. We can't see God, can't hear God, can't touch God, can't smell God. We can't approach God with these material senses. So how can we get in touch with God? Sevon mukhe hijivadao. By rendering service to Him, beginning with the tongue. If we begin to serve Krishna with this tongue, then Svayameva Spuratyara, Krishna will show Himself to us gradually. So the tongue does 2 things. It tastes, right? So we serve Krishna by eating Krishna prasadam. And the tongue also vibrates. It helps to produce sound. If we didn't have a tongue, it would just be, right? Who could understand what was being intended? So the tongue allows us to pronounce particular sounds that carry particular meaning that wake us up. So transcendental sound is meant to wake us up to our spiritual identity and to help us realize God. So when we hear about Krishna from someone who knows Krishna, right? Srila Prabhupada has written this book for the purpose of reading it so that we can hear it. When we come here and we do this thing, right? We hear, we vibrate, we discuss, then Krishna, hopefully, if our intention is proper, Krishna becomes pleased and He showers mercy on us and He helps us to realize Him more and more. So our Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master in ISKCON, he said that our centers are meant for hearing about Krishna, for giving people a chance to hear about Krishna. Because it's by hearing about Krishna, by having that vibration injected into the ear, it is by that method that we can actually make real progress, real spiritual progress. And if we make real spiritual progress, then whatever other problem we may have or think we may have, that will be solved. So let's keep reading. Any points so far? Anybody has anything? All good? Yeah. I'm inviting discussion, always, right? This is not a formal class. We're simply here to give the opportunity to speak and to hear about Krishna. Thus, Mother Yashoda chanted different names of Vishnu to protect child Krishna's different bodily parts. Mother Yashoda was firmly convinced that she should protect her child from different kinds of evil spirits and ghosts, namely Dakinis, Yatudhanis, Kushmandas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Vinayakas, Kotaras, Revatis, Jeshtas, Putanas, Maturkas, Unmadas, and similar other evil spirits who cause persons to forget their own existence and give trouble to the life airs and the senses. Any of you watch horror films? Have any of you seen? Some horror films focus on these kinds of entities, yes, and the kind of mischief that such entities get up to. So I didn't know there were so many different varieties and categories of evil spirits and ghosts, but here they are named. They have specific kinds of names. So, who wants to be disturbed by such things? Nobody. They just create fear. So whenever the body is marked with the names of the Lord, then we're not bothered by such entities. And especially where there is genuine chanting of God's names, then such entities cannot stay. Okay, sometimes they appear in dreams and cause much perturbation. Sometimes they appear as old women and suck the blood of small children. But no such ghosts and evil spirits can remain where there is chanting of the holy name of God. Mother Yashoda was firmly convinced of the Vedic injunctions about the importance of cows and the holy name of Vishnu. Therefore, she took all shelter in the cows and the name of Vishnu just to protect her child Krishna. I know a devotee who told a story of a place in Italy. There was some haunted house in Italy. Someone was very much harassed by a poltergeist. So a group of devotees went there to do Sankirtan. And, they started off quite mildly. And as they proceeded, then this ghost began to, express its annoyance by throwing various articles down, and it was quite a powerful entity. It was violent, throwing furniture across the room. This devotee, had first-hand experience of this. So their kirtan got louder and louder, more energetic, forceful, and condensed, intense. And eventually they succeeded. The disturbances subsided and never returned. It works. Okay. She recited all the holy names of Vishnu so that he might save the child. Vedic culture has taken advantage of keeping cows and chanting the holy name of Vishnu since the beginning of history. And persons who are still following the Vedic ways, especially the householders, keep at least 12 cows and worship the deity of Lord Vishnu, who is installed in their house. Persons who are advancing in Krishna consciousness should take instruction from this pastime and also be very interested in cows and the holy name of Vishnu. We live in such a society where everybody is very keen on keeping cats, dogs, right, hamsters, goldfish, other animals, and pets. What's the difficulty in keeping some cows? Anyway, there's so many restrictions on keeping animals that are perceived as livestock. God help us. But if you visit the Goshala down here, we're keeping at the minute these miniature cows. What are they called? I can't remember their name. Achyuta's gonna be mad at me. Kateri? No. Is that their name? There's another one. There's another breed of cow. Poganda? Not Poganda. Pungala, I think. Very tiny. Anyway, we have not that particular breed here at the Goshala. We have the next level up in size. They're still very cute. They're small. They're cuddly. just like household pets. They're beautiful. Wouldn't it be wonderful if in every household there were a few cows? If we knew how to actually make friends with them and protect them, look after them, treat them as they wish to be treated. They're very friendly animals, actually, if you make a relationship with them, especially if you brush them, scratch them, clean them. Demonstrate some affection in their direction, that they reciprocate. They practically become like the members of the family, and they give milk gladly. In Germany, there was a cow. Her name was Haribol on the farm in Samhachalam, and she didn't have a calf at the time. She was quite old, and there were only 3 cows there on the farm at that time. But she'd had a calf previously. Anyway, she was capable of giving milk, but she wasn't giving any milk. No one was, at that time, attempting to milk her. Anyway, I ended up with the service of looking after the cows for a little bit. And so I would milk them every morning. And then I thought, well, let me try to milk Haribol. Maybe she'll give some milk for the Lord. That would be better than her not giving milk, right? So I started to milk her. And she began to give me milk. I mean, not me. She began to give milk. So, and she responded very much to expressions of, affection. They're just like family members. We need some kind of consistent propaganda to make the cow a beloved household animal. Should be like just a perpetual campaign, The elder gopis of Vrindavana were so absorbed in affection for Krishna that they wanted to save him, although there was no need to, for he had already protected himself. They could not understand that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead playing as a child. After performing the formalities to protect the child, Mother Yashoda took Krishna and let him suck her breast. When the child was protected by Vishnu mantra, Mother Yashoda felt that he was safe. In the meantime, all the cowherd men who had gone to Mathura to pay tax returned home and were struck with wonder at seeing the gigantic dead body of Putana. Nanda Maharaj recalled the prophecy of Vasudeva and considered him a great sage and mystic yogi. Otherwise, how could he have foretold an incident that happened during his absence from Vrindavana? After this, all the residents of Vraja cut the gigantic body of Putana into pieces and piled it up with wood for burning. When all the limbs of Putana's body were burning, the smoke emanating from the fire created a good aroma of aguru. This aroma was due to her being killed by Krishna. This means that the demon Putana was washed of all her sinful activities and attained a celestial body. Here is an example of how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is all good. Right? Some people say, oh, if God were all good, why do bad things happen in the world? Yeah, they have their reasons, and we have our explanations as well. But here is an example of how the Lord is all good. Putana came to kill Krishna, but because he sucked her milk, she was immediately purified, and her dead body attained a transcendental quality. Her only business was to kill small children. She was only fond of blood. But in spite of being envious of Krishna, she attained salvation because she gave her milk to him to drink. So what can be said of those who are affectionate to Krishna in the relationship of mother, who with great love and affection always serve him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Supersoul of every living entity? And if such a demon can get such mercy from the Lord, then what to speak of those who favorably attempt to render him service? It is concluded, therefore, that even a little energy expended in the service of the Lord gives one immense transcendental profit. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Svalpam apyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so sublime that even a little service rendered to Krishna, knowingly or unknowingly, gives one the greatest transcendental benefit. The system of worshipping Krishna by offering flowers from a tree is also beneficial for the living entity who is confined to the bodily existence of that tree. All right? I mean, you end up in the body of a tree, yeah? It's probably not your first choice destination or machine. You get the body of a tree, and by God's grace, you're able to produce some flowers, some fruits. A devotee happens to come along, yeah, again, by the inconceivable will of the Lord. Pluck a flower, pluck a fruit, offer it to Krishna, who's everywhere, and especially in the temple in his Archa-Vigraha form, right? But the flower, the fruit is offered, and the tree, who is just minding its own business, gets the benefit. When flowers and fruits are offered to Krishna, the tree that bore them also receives much benefit, indirectly. The archana process, or worshipping procedure, is therefore beneficial for everyone. Right? So, can we not extend this example to all other varieties of offerings? Huh? Benefit for everyone. Krishna is worshipable by great demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. Sorry. Of course, it doesn't mean that we can necessarily walk into the supermarket, and I've heard some devotees attempt this. Walk into the supermarket and in the mind offer all the contents of the supermarket to the Lord. I mean, if the devotee is such a lover of God, Krishna actually might agree. He might actually accept the entire supermarket. I wouldn't presume that he doesn't, but it makes more sense that one makes a direct offering of something that is prepared for his pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Krishna is worshipable by great demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. And Putana was so fortunate that the same Krishna played in her lap as a little child. Right? How fortunate is Putana that the Lord played in her lap. The lotus feet of Krishna, which are worshipped by great sages and devotees, were placed on the body of Putana. People worship Krishna and offer him food with great reverence and devotion. But automatically he sucked the milk from the body of Putana. Devotees therefore pray that if simply by offering something as an enemy, Putana got so much benefit, then who can measure the benefit of worshipping Krishna in love and affection? Therefore only Krishna should be worshipped, for so much benefit awaits the worshipper. This is encouraging, isn't it? Because we may not always appreciate the results, or the results, the rewards even of our service to Krishna. And if those results are not immediately forthcoming, devotees in the immature stage may also feel discouraged. Right, I'm doing all this service, where are my rewards? Don't worry, your rewards are coming, relax. But we may become discouraged if we don't see them immediately. I've heard, it's said by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that the Lord may withhold all the results of bhakti, results that a devotee may merit, right, in good time. He may not give them immediately because he does not want to discourage the karmis and the gyanis in their pursuits. Right? It's like if you just get everything so easily by chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping the Lord, then think of the consequences, right? And then everyone who wants to forget about God, and want nothing to do with Him, and want to try really hard to get it all on the strength of their own sweat, then they will be deterred in their determination. And in this way also Krishna protects you could say he protects the sanctity of bhakti. It's not a business exchange. It's not a monetary transaction. Right? It's a relationship. It's a relationship. And if I'm only doing this because, right, you're going to give me this much at the end of this day, and if you don't, I'm not interested, then how is that bhakti? So yeah, surrender, serve, get nothing back, and continue. Then the bhakti is tested, and it can be real. It's very easy to love somebody when, right, they do everything you want exactly when you want it. It's like, especially if I'm paying somebody, I don't know, £100 an hour to listen to my problem, then yeah, you better be interested. You better care, right? I'm more interested in someone who's prepared to listen, care, and help when they're not being paid. That's more valuable. I want the interest and the care of that kind of person. That kind of person shows me that they actually care. Anybody can care for 150 quid an hour. Okay. Where did we get to? People worship Krishna and offer him food with great reverence and devotion. But automatically, he sucked the milk from the body of Putana. Devotees therefore pray that if simply by offering something as an enemy, Putana got so much benefit, then who can measure the benefit of worshipping Krishna in love and affection? Therefore, only Krishna should be worshipped, for so much benefit awaits the worshipper. So we don't need to worry, do we? Right? We just need to worry about our relationship with Krishna. And everything will come, We don't even need to worry about it. And whatever it is we think we want, that's nice. But what Krishna actually is willing to give us is infinitely better. So let's sally forth. Let's keep going in spite of all obstacles. Although Putana was an evil spirit, she gained elevation just like the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is clear that the cows and the elder gopis who offered milk to Krishna were also elevated to the transcendental position. Krishna can offer anyone anything, from liberation to anything materially conceivable. Right, we're in safe hands. Like when I hear this information, I just think, I don't need to worry. If I'm hung up on something, if I really have to have something in this material world, the Lord is perfectly equipped and capable to take care of that need in His own good time, according to what is good for me. Right? Because He's the ultimate Father, we're His children. He doesn't want to give us something that will ruin us, spoil us, or take us away from Him. Krishna can offer anyone anything, from liberation to anything materially conceivable. Therefore, there cannot be any doubt of the salvation of Putana, whose bodily milk was sucked by Krishna for such a long time. And how can there be any doubt about the salvation of the gopis, who were so fond of Krishna? Undoubtedly, all the gopis, cowherd boys, cows, and everyone else who served Krishna in Vrindavana with love and affection were liberated from the miserable condition of material existence. When all the inhabitants of Vrindavan smelled the good aroma from the smoke of the burning Putana, they inquired from each other, "Where is this good fragrance coming from?" And while conversing, they came to understand that it was the fumes of the burning putana. They were very fond of Krishna, and as soon as they heard that the demon Putana had been killed by Krishna, they offered blessings to the little child out of affection. After the burning of Putana, Nanda Maharaj came home and immediately took up the child on his lap and began to smell his head. In this way, he was quite satisfied that his little child was saved from this great calamity. Srila Shukadeva Goswami has given a blessing to all persons who hear the narration of the killing of Putana by Krishna. They will surely attain the favor of Govinda. They will surely attain the favor of Govinda. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 6th chapter of Krishna, Putana killed. Any thoughts, any questions? Will I keep reading? Yeah. So at 6 o'clock we have Bhagavad Gita class. Yeah, in the beginning there will be some kirtan, some prayers, and then one of the devotees will speak from Bhagavad Gita. So until then, we're going to continue reading from this Krishna book. And again, feel free, if you have any questions or reflections, don't feel shy to interrupt me. I'm not on a mission to complete, so many pages in a given space of time. Okay, chapter 7, the salvation of Trinavarta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always full with 6 opulences, namely complete wealth, complete strength, complete fame, complete knowledge, complete beauty, and complete renunciation. The Lord appears in different complete eternal forms of incarnation. The conditioned soul has immense opportunity to hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord in these different incarnations. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Janma karma cha me divyam. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material. They are beyond the material conception. And the conditioned soul can benefit by hearing such uncommon activities. Hearing is an opportunity to associate with the Lord. To hear His activities is to evolve one's transcendental nature. Simply by hearing, the conditioned soul has a natural aptitude to hear something about other conditioned souls in the form of fiction, drama, and novel. That inclination to hear something about others may be utilized in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Then one can immediately evolve his transcendental nature. Krishna's pastimes are not only beautiful, they are also very pleasing to the mind. If someone takes advantage of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, the material contamination of dust accumulated in the heart due to long association with material nature can be immediately cleansed. Lord Chaitanya also instructed that simply by hearing the transcendental name of Lord Krishna, one can cleanse the heart of all material contamination. There are different processes for self-realization, but this process of devotional service, of which hearing is the most important function, when adopted by any conditioned soul, will automatically cleanse him of the material contamination and enable him to realize his real constitutional position. So I'll mention that again, that Srila Prabhupada is saying that the process of devotional service, of which hearing is the most important function. Yeah? So we say, anyway, we talk about service to God, service to Krishna. Are you doing your service? I have to do devotional service. Oh yeah, I read something about Krishna, I chant my rounds, and then I have to go and do some service. Well, if you're actually hearing about Krishna, you're performing the first and most important service to Krishna. This is very important to remember, and it's written all over Srila Prabhupada's books and mentioned all over Srila Prabhupada's lectures. So let's not forget the most important function in devotional service is Shravanam, hearing. And when we take up this process, when we adopt it, this process will automatically cleanse us of the material contamination and enable us to realize our real constitutional position. Conditional life is due to this contamination only. And as soon as it is cleared off, then naturally the dormant function of the living entity, rendering service to the Lord, awakens. Okay. So the contamination of the material energy, right? That means conditioned life, conditional life. We're conditioned. We're sat here in a particular material body, and according to the body we've been given, we have to act. And we can't help it. Yeah, if I have the body of a dog, well, I'm going to do things that dogs do. I don't have a choice. I can't cluck like a chicken instead. And in the same way, I have a particular human form, yes, and there are certain things about it that I'm not going to be able to change. I am endowed with particular physical attributes, particular mental conditions, and a particular intellectual capacity. That's the machine that I have been given, and I have to work with it. So we're conditioned, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the modes he has acquired from the material nature. No one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. So this is what it means, conditioned life. We are practically forced to act in particular ways. And we are practically swayed or influenced to choose certain things as a result of our nature that we have inherited. Yeah. You're in a particular kind of car, it can only go so fast. Yeah? I mean, I don't know so many things about the mechanics of automobiles, but experts will say, well, this one, is a little... The engine does this, the steering does that. Yeah, it has so many qualities of the car and how it drives, they know the difference. Yeah, because that's the machine, You have to put up with the conditions of the machine you're sat in. So how do we get free? We talk about freedom. Well, freedom really means, how do I get out of this encagement? How do I get out of this trap that I am sat in? Because the trap that I'm sat in is forcing me to grow old. It's forcing me to get sick. And it's forcing me to die when I don't want to. Nobody wants to grow old, get sick, or pass away. But we are forced. It's an imposition. This body, this material body, is an imposition. How do we get free? By the process of devotional service. That's how we get free. And the first and most important function in devotional service is to hear about Krishna. So that's why we're doing this. That's why we came to the temple. That's why someone's sitting here reading this book, so that we can hear. Okay. So this devotional service awakens in us when we hear about the Lord. By developing his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, one becomes eligible to create friendship with the devotees. Maharaj Parikshit recommended from practical experience that everyone try to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This Krishna treatise is meant for that purpose, and the reader may take advantage of it to attain the ultimate goal of human life. Right? I mean, what a sentence. Srila Prabhupada, the author of this book, is saying that, right, he has given this treatise, this book, Krishna, for that purpose. What's that purpose? To hear about Krishna's transcendental pastimes. That's the purpose of hearing this book. Right? That's the purpose of this book's being in existence, so that we can hear about Krishna. And Prabhupada's telling us we can take advantage of the book to attain the ultimate goal of human life. So how important is this book, or any of the books given to us by Srila Prabhupada? Any thoughts, reflections, or questions at this point? Anything? No? I'll keep reading? Okay? All right. The Lord, out of His causeless mercy, descends to this material world and displays His activities just like an ordinary man. Unfortunately, the impersonalists or the atheistic class of men consider Krishna to be an ordinary man like themselves, and so they deride Him. This is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord Himself when He says, Avajananti ma mudha. The mudhas or rascals take Krishna to be an ordinary man or a slightly more powerful man. Out of their great misfortune, they cannot accept Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes such unfortunate persons misrepresent themselves as incarnations of Krishna without referring to the authorized scriptures. So I think I was mentioning this the other day, that if God comes and He appears to be, the same kind of size, same shape, okay, He may be a little better looking, He may be a little more better dressed, better decorated, but He's same kind of size as I am, right? He's walking around doing His things, right, like me. And then naturally one may make the mistake of thinking He's just an ordinary person. So Krishna says, Avajananti ma mudha. The fools deride me when I come here. And when Krishna came here 5,000 years ago, many people who saw Him could not understand that He was God. Right? Only a few people could understand because they were His devotees. Only Krishna's devotees are endowed with the intelligence to understand that here is Krishna. Because Krishna can only be understood by His revelation. The infinite can reveal Himself to the finite only when the infinite chooses. Right? I cannot peer out and discern what is absolute, what is infinite, what is spiritual. Right? It is not within my capacity to make that judgment unless I am given special ability by the absolute, by the infinite. Therefore we say it's only by mercy that one can understand God. Right? Krishna says that this material energy of mine is very difficult to overcome. Everybody is bewildered by this material energy, completely bewildered. Daivihesha gunamayi, mama maya duratyaya, mameva ye prapandyante, maya metam tarantite. This material energy is very, very difficult to overcome. You cannot cross beyond it by the strength of your what? Your little brain, your bodily muscles. How are you going to overcome this vast ocean of material illusion? But Krishna says, when you surrender to me, then very easily you can cross over it. Very easily. By surrendering to me. So when we surrender, when we submit to the Lord in love, then He is at His liberty to give us all passage, all freedom, and all realization of His own nature, His own person. Right? Who can approach a big man? Who can approach the president, or the prime minister, or the king? Who can just go up to him and say, "Hey, I want to talk with you"? Nobody gets to do that. But if that big person decides, I want to speak with that lady, I want to speak with that gentleman, then now you're in favor. So Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master used to say, don't try to see God, Rather, act in such a way that God will want to see you. If God sees us, then we're blessed. So, the mutas or rascals take Krishna to be an ordinary man or a slightly more powerful man. Out of their great misfortune, they cannot accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, we read that. Sometimes such unfortunate persons misrepresent themselves as incarnations of Krishna without referring to the authorized scriptures. Yeah, because they're envious of the Lord. Yeah? Well, they think he can't be God. And even while thinking that he can't be God, they will dare to advertise themselves as an incarnation of God. When Krishna grew up a little more, he began to turn himself backside up. He did not merely lie down on his back. And another function was observed by Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's first birthday. They arranged for Krishna's birthday ceremony, which is still observed by all followers of the Vedic principles. Krishna's birthday ceremony is observed in India by all Hindus, irrespective of different sectarian views. All the cowherd men and women were invited to participate in the jubilant celebration. A nice band played, and the assembled people enjoyed it. All the learned brahmanas were invited, and they chanted Vedic hymns for the good fortune of Krishna. During the chanting of the Vedic hymns and playing of the bands, Krishna was bathed by Mother Yashoda. This bathing ceremony is technically called Abhisheka, and even today this is observed in all the temples of Vrindavana on Janmashtami Day, or the birthday anniversary of Lord Krishna. On this occasion, Mother Yashoda arranged to distribute a large quantity of grain, and first-class cows decorated with golden ornaments were made ready to be given in charity to the learned, respectable brahmanas. Yashoda took her bath and dressed herself nicely, and taking child Krishna, duly dressed and bathed, on her lap, she sat down to hear the Vedic hymns chanted by the brahmanas. While Mother Yashoda was listening to the chanting of the Vedic hymns, the child appeared to be falling asleep, and therefore she very silently laid him down on the bed. Being engaged in receiving all the friends, relatives, and residents of Vrindavan on that holy occasion, she forgot to feed the child milk. He was crying, being hungry, but Mother Yashoda could not hear him cry because of the various noises. The child, however, became angry because he was hungry, and his mother was not paying attention to him. So he lifted his legs and began to kick his lotus feet, just like an ordinary child. Baby Krishna had been placed underneath a hand-driven cart, and while he was kicking his legs, he accidentally touched the wheel of the cart, and it collapsed. Various kinds of utensils and dishes made of brass and other metals had been piled up in the handcart, and they all fell down with a great noise. The wheel of the cart separated from the axle, and the spokes of the wheel were all broken and scattered hither and thither. Mother Yashoda and all the gopis, as well as Maharaj Nanda and the cowherd men, were astonished as to how the cart could have collapsed by itself. All the men and women who were assembled for the holy function crowded around and began to suggest how the cart might have collapsed. No one could ascertain the cause, but some small children who were entrusted to play with baby Krishna informed the crowd that it was due to Krishna's striking his feet against the wheel. They assured the crowd that they had seen how it happened with their own eyes, and they strongly asserted the point. Some were listening to the statement of the small children, but others said, "How can you believe the statements of these children?" The cowherd man and woman could not understand that the all-powerful personality of Godhead was lying there as a baby, and that he could do anything. Both the possible and impossible were in his power. While the discussion was going on, baby Krishna cried. Without remonstration, Mother Yashoda picked the child up on her lap and called the learned brahmanas to chant the holy Vedic hymns to counteract the evil spirits. At the same time, she allowed the baby to suck her breast. If a child sucks the mother's breast nicely, it is to be understood that he is out of all danger. After this, all the stronger cowherd men put the broken cart in order, and all the scattered things were set up nicely as before. The brahmanas thereafter began to offer oblations to the sacrificial fire with yogurt, butter, kusha grass, and water. They worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the good fortune of the child. So in about 5 minutes we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class. There's a couple of pages left of this chapter. Let's see how far we get. Any thoughts? Any questions? No pressure, just throwing it out there, giving an opportunity for any of you. Nothing? Okay. Yeah, this is Krishna book. That's the best story, isn't it? The brahmanas who were present at that time were all qualified because they were not envious. They never indulged in untruthfulness. They were never proud. They were non-violent, and they never claimed any false prestige. They were all bona fide brahmanas, and there was no reason to think that their blessings would be useless. With firm faith in the qualified brahmanas, Nanda Maharaj took his child on his lap and bathed him with water mixed with various herbs, while the brahmanas chanted hymns from the Rig, Yajur, and Sama Vedas. It is said that without being a qualified brahmana, one should not read the mantras of the Vedas. Here is the proof that the brahmanas were qualified with all the Brahminical symptoms. Maharaj Nanda also had full faith in them. Therefore, they were allowed to perform the ritualistic ceremonies by chanting the Vedic mantras. There are many different varieties of sacrifices recommended for different purposes, but the mantras are all to be chanted by qualified brahmanas. And because in this age of Kali such qualified brahmanas are not available, all Vedic ritualistic sacrifices are forbidden. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended only one kind of sacrifice in this age, namely the Sankirtana Yajna, or chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we will have Bhagavad Gita class.
Thank you.
Okay. Should we chant today? Do you want to sit in this? No, come in. We're just about to have Bhagavad Gita class.
Hare Krishna. So we will have a Bhagavad Gita class now. Thank you, everyone. We'll start by singing a small bhajan. If you would like to join in, if you know, then yeah, please participate. Lovely. Jaya Ram. Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Janitai Gaura Premanande Hari Bol. Thank you everyone for very nicely joining in. It's nice to sing together. So we will just start by reciting the invocation prayers. If you would like to repeat after me, so we can begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 18. So I will recite the verse and you can repeat after me. You should, it's just on the screen for you as well. So, Karmanya karmaya pashyet, akarmani cha karmaya, sabudhiman manushyeshu, sayukta kritsna karma krit. Karmanya karmaya pashyet, akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit. Okay, so if anyone feels like they would like to recite the verse, then we can repeat. Would anyone like to? Karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit. Anyone else? Karmanya karmaya pasyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit. Lovely, thank you. So now we'll read the word for word translation. You can repeat as well. Karmani, inaction. Akarma, inaction. Ya, one who. Pashyet, observes. Akarmani, inaction. Cha, also. Karma, fruitive action. Ya, one who. Sa, he. Buddhiman, is intelligent. Manushyeshu, in human society. Sa, he. Yukta, is in the transcendental position. Kritsna karma krit, although engaged in all activities. So now read the translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Purport. A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna, therefore he does not enjoy or suffer any of the effects of work. Consequently, he is intelligent in human society, even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities for Krishna. Akarma means without reaction to work. The impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling block on the path of self-realization, but the personalist knows rightly his position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness. Because everything is done for Krishna, he enjoys only transcendental happiness in the discharge of this service. Those who are engaged in this process are known to be without desire for personal sense gratification. The sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work. So we'll just recite the prayers to invocate blessings from the Acharyas. If you know them, you can join. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. So yes, this is a very wonderful verse. And just before I begin, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here. And I just want to express my gratitude, especially because there are many senior devotees here in the audience. So I just want to request the blessings from everyone so that I may be able to speak something based on my small realization. So yes, is anyone actually here for the first time? Or, oh, lovely, welcome. Yeah, so maybe before we begin speaking on the verse, we can understand what is actually being spoken about in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna to Arjuna. Yeah, is anyone familiar with the teachings of the Gita? Anyone familiar with what it talks about, topics or anything? That's okay. Okay, so we can just go into it. So what's really nice is that we have this understanding that spiritual life actually begins when we inquire. So when we ask questions, it takes place at a time in our life when we experience some sort of, material exhaustion, or we're kind of, dissatisfied with our life. We have, worldly experiences that are not satisfying for us. And so I'm sure everyone here has experienced some sort of, dissatisfaction that's led to some spiritual inquiry about God. And what is the ultimate aim of human life? This human form of life is so rare. In the Vedanta Sutras, it actually says that atato brahma jigyasa. What does that mean? So it means this human form of life is meant for realization of the supreme absolute truth. So this human form of life is meant for elevation. And so we want to act in a way that actually realizes that potential of ours, right? So if human form of life is meant for inquiry, what do we inquire about? There are 5 main questions that a spiritual seeker may ask in their lifetime, and these are addressed in the Bhagavad Gita. So these questions, the first question is, who am I? This is the question of realizing that we are the Atma, we are the soul. And then the second question is, what am I doing here? Why am I here, actually? How am I meant to live my life here as with the understanding that I am the soul. So this topic explores karma. And so the third topic is, how long actually does this last? How long am I here? So the topic of time, kala, is explored in the Bhagavad Gita. Next, we have prakriti. So this is, where am I? We're in the material world. So prakriti means material nature. So this is explored in the Gita in much detail. And lastly, with all this knowledge, who am I? What am I doing here? How long does this last? Where am I? What is the purpose? And what is beyond all of this? So this fifth topic is actually exploring Ishvara, so God. So this is the 5 topics that are covered in the Bhagavad Gita. If we were to summarize, what actually does the Gita cover? So these are the 5 topics, and they're very much linked to one another. And so the chapter that we're speaking on today is about karma yoga, and especially if we want to understand karma, then it is important to understand it in relation to the 2 other topics, which is who are we, so Atma, and who are we acting for, so Ishvara. So when we understand those 2 things, then we can understand our activities of karma in a more holistic way. We can understand it in a more broader sense. So if we just track back